Hey, what's up everybody? This is Justin Johnson here in the Guitar Loft, and I'm excited today because it is unboxing day again, and I love opening a box with this word on it right here, Martin. Martin guitars have always been some of my favorite acoustic guitars. They basically developed what we think of largely as like a factory acoustic guitar. They've come up with some of the biggest innovations in acoustic guitar making. They've been around for almost 200 years now. This is one of the most radical and new and innovative designs that they've come up with in probably about a century. Hey, let's stop wasting time and get into this box and see what they've got. I like this kind of graphite fabric that they have on this. This is a beautiful case. It's very different than a lot of gig bags I see. It is a gig bag, but it's got a very resilient kind of quality to it. It's got these like leather feeling zippers on it too. Nice gold embroidery. It's a good way to start. Let's check this baby out. Oh yeah. Man, I love the way that the, already just looking at it, the blue accents, kind of like turquoise colored accents are mirrored in the fabric on the inside of this gig bag. That's a beautiful presentation there, just right out of the box. That's one of my favorite moments too, like opening the case and seeing the guitar for the first time. Look at that. This is the new SC-13E from Martin. And you might look at this, and if you didn't see that classic Martin headstock, you might not even recognize it as a traditional Martin. And well, that's because it's not a traditional Martin at all. This is, like I said, one of the most innovative and different designs they've come up with in probably about 100 years. And they're one of the few companies, well, in general, not just guitar companies, that have even been around that long to be able to say that about. But there's just so many details on this guitar that are completely innovative, completely different for acoustic guitars and for Martin. And man, this is so cool. This is so different and beautiful. And it feels already, not even in playing position, it feels totally different and it feels so organic. Let me tell you about some of these features right here. Man, I'll tell you, just picking this up for the first time and feeling it here, it feels more like, I'd say, like what you'd expect from a semi-hollow body guitar in the way that it's got a nice streamlined body. It's surprisingly light, but sometimes light guitars can be a little neck heavy. This is not. This feels really well balanced through the whole guitar. I can sit it on my lap, it's nice and comfortable. And this cutaway is just blowing my mind how comfortable it feels. And the way you can scoop your arm up around here and just feel the upper frets, it's something I have absolutely never felt on an acoustic guitar before. Let me come in a little closer, show you this neck joint, because it's probably one of the most significant differences in this guitar. And something that, again, like you never see this on an acoustic guitar, and you never get that feeling of having that comfortable of access to the top frets like that. There's a heel here, you know, and it looks like a bolt-on. It is in a sense a bolt-on neck, but I'll tell you a little more about it. It's not in any way a traditional bolt-on neck. This is a new design completely. It's a new patent that Martin just got. One of the classic neck designs is probably like the most classic neck designs as far as attaching a neck to an acoustic guitar body is a dovetail joint. And normally, so the neck is going this way, normally the dovetail joint is a perpendicular dovetail, so you actually slide the neck down onto the body, and when it comes together, it forms this beautiful, you know, strong connection that transfers the resonance, it lets things ring through, it gives you great sustain. But the thing is, if you want to get that nice feel like this one has on the cutaway here, you can't have that kind of dovetail joint. One alternative might be to just have a traditional bolt-on neck, but then you don't get the same transfer of resonance that you would get as if you had a dovetail joint. There's just not as much contact between the neck and the body to really let it resonate and let those you know, that resonance mature in the same way. So what they've done is they've actually created a linear dovetail where the dovetail joint is still there, but it actually runs parallel with the neck, so the dovetail joint slides in. And that's something that's totally new. And what these different screws do, and what there's some shims inside, there's a whole complex network going on here under the skin. But what all of that does under there is, not only does it allow you to have this incredibly comfortable cutaway, but it allows you to change the angle of the neck. So if you ever wanted to, let's say, have more of an angle, which will allow you lower string action, so it plays faster, feels more like an electric, you can actually change that angle with different shims on the inside. You can also, which I've never heard about this on an acoustic guitar, if there are slight intonation changes over time, let's say you change strings or you change, you know, certain things that might throw off the intonation over time with an acoustic guitar, you can actually slightly change the distance that the neck and the bridge are from one another by making adjustments to an internal screw. And that is really exciting to hear about from my perspective, because you really want the intonation to be true all the way up and down the body. And usually when you get an acoustic guitar, you can never change that. It's a fixed position between the bridge and the nut. I guess all of that aside, the thing that matters the most is, what does it sound like and what does it feel like when you play it? So let me try this baby out. Oh man, I wish I could explain how easy this guitar is to play. It really is blowing my mind. Not only up here with the cutaway, but as it goes up from where the nut is down here to where you come up to meet the body, the shape of the neck and the back, it actually is designed to contour to the way that your hand moves when it makes that motion from lower frets to higher frets. And it changes the contour with your hand. And it really, I've read about it and I've heard about it. I've been really excited about feeling this in person to see if it really did that. And it is so accurate to that description that they give and to the purpose of why they did that. It's really incredible. I love it. You know, one of the other features about this guitar that's unique, and it's a first for Martin to do it this way, is generally, as far as the scale length with Martin guitars, you have a long scale or a short scale. And what that means basically, the way you can visualize that is sometimes it's the 12th fret that meets the body, and sometimes it's the 14th fret that meets the body. And this is actually the 13th fret that meets the body on this guitar. And so that's a difference in the way that they want it to sound like a long scale, which is what a lot of people love about the Martin sound, but they want it to feel like a short scale. So it actually, your arm kind of comes in a little closer to your body when you play. You're not stretching as far out. It feels just very comfortable. It feels close to your body. It's balanced nice. And then there's this, they call it like an S shape. It's like an asymmetrical body style, where they still have a scalloped X brace inside, but it's highly modified just for this guitar design. And it's designed not only to feel comfortable, but this guitar really is designed for stage use. It's designed to be like an acoustic electric, sound great acoustically, but not have some of the drawbacks that a straight acoustic guitar has. For example, This has kind of with this asymmetrical body and some of the electronics, some of the way that they handled the bracing is actually designed specifically to prevent feedback on stage. So if you're performing at high volume levels, if your monitors are blasting at you, that this guitar is actually there for you to stop some of that feedback from happening on stage, which, because acoustic guitars naturally are so resonant, they have problems with feeding back sometimes because they pick up all that vibration from the sound around you. And so it's really cool that they've thought about that and that they've really included that mindset into building this guitar. Well, it's also got a Fishman MXT pickup system inside with a tone and volume knob. And check this out, I've never seen this before, but it's got a tuner in the sound hole actually facing up at you. So you can see it in the dark, and you never really know you're tuning. And this also mutes the guitar signal to your amp or PA, whatever you're plugged into, so you can easily tune without being annoying on stage, basically. Well, speaking of the MX pickup system in here, let me plug it into the amp over here and get some sounds and see what this sounds like both acoustically and plugged in. Guys, I had really high hopes playing this for the first time, that it was going to be something that would blow me away, and it really did. I'm very impressed with this guitar, the way it feels, how good it sounds, the price point. It is part of their Road series, and so the price point is very reasonable, and especially for people who want to, maybe you're transitioning over from an electric to an acoustic, and you want it to be a natural progression. You want it to be something that you can play for hours and hours, and it feels natural and it feels comfortable. They just nailed it. I just love it, and I can't wait to play more with it and show you guys more of the kind of music that I'm going to end up, pulling out of this guitar. Again, this is the SC-13E, and I don't know what that stands for, but I think it stands for like sexy cutaway 13th fret that everyone should get. So I'm Justin Johnson. Thanks for watching. See you on the next video.
you.